Good day and welcome. May 17th, it's World Telecommunication and Information Society Day, or WTISD. The theme, Digital Technologies for Older Persons and Healthy Aging. This program has been curated by the Telecommunications Authority of Trinidad and Tobago, and we have a fantastic program ahead of us. My name is Wendell Etienne, and I'm your host for this presentation. To tell us a little bit more about WTISD, let's now hear from the CEO of the Telecommunications Authority of Trinidad and Tobago, Mrs. Cynthia Reddock Downs.
Good evening to our viewing and listening audience. I am Cynthia Reddock Downs, Chief Executive Officer of the Telecommunications Authority of Trinidad and Tobago, commonly known as TAT. Today is TAT's World Telecommunications and Information Society Day event. It is with immense pleasure that I welcome you to TAT's discussion program on this year's theme, Digital Technologies for Older Persons and Healthy Aging. Every year on the 17th of May, member organizations of the International Telecommunications Union, known as the ITU, celebrate WTISD. Commemorating WTISD allows us to raise awareness of the possibilities that the use of digital technologies, including the internet, can bring to us as individuals, societies, and economies. The ITU advises that by the year 2050, there will be a projected 1.5 billion persons over the age of 65. It is predicted that the aging population will be able to contribute to a country's socio-economic development through the use of digital technologies. To contribute to this becoming a reality in Trinidad and Tobago, it is necessary for TAT to continue to raise awareness amongst our senior population about the significant role of ICTs in supporting healthy aging and the need to embrace these technologies. This action will promote a more digitally inclusive society. In this program, you will hear testimonials from some of our silver generation who have embraced using digital technologies. And we also highlight national digital resources and services available for access. As we are all aware, over the past 2 years, the COVID-19 pandemic has transformed many aspects of our lives, especially in the way we connect with our families and friends, entertain ourselves, conduct business transactions, and access information online. As a result, we have now incorporated digital technology tools and the browsing of the internet as part of our daily routine, allowing us to stay well informed while maintaining our health and well-being. It is important that our silver generation can access and use these services in order to connect with their children and other family and friends. We at TAT believe that we can achieve a more digitally independent and sustainable society by ensuring equitable access to basic telecommunications and broadcasting services for everyone. It is our hope that this program would not only draw attention to the many advantages associated with the use of digital technologies and the internet, but also encourage its integration into the daily lives of our silver generation, leaving no one unconnected and no one behind. I wish to thank Dr. Jennifer Rouse, our specially invited guest, and Mr. Wendell Etienne, the program's moderator, who will share vibrant discussions on the topic of digital technologies and healthy aging, alongside our representatives from our partnering agencies, iGovTT, NALIS, ALTA, and TAP. To you, the viewers, thank you for tuning in to our program and do enjoy tonight's offering.
Thank you very much, Ms. Reddock Downs, CEO of the Telecommunications Authority of Trinidad and Tobago. Well, my friends, we have a lovely panel assembled for this presentation. We'll begin by introducing Ms. Sherilyn Kwamina-Batiste, Librarian, Digital and Information Literacy at NALIS. We also have Edson Eastman, Head of TT Connect under iGov TT. Also joining us, Nyala Maharaj Rasha. She's the Head of Consulting at iGov TT. And our lone guest in studio, we have Dr. Jennifer Rouse, gerontologist. So that's the team we have assembled ahead of us. Dr. Rouse, welcome. You're here live with me, joining us along the journey.
Correct.
Before we get into the discussion, we'll view a short video in which some of this country's senior citizens, who we also call the Silver Generation, they would share their experiences with the use of digital technologies and their experiences thus far. These persons are also members of ALTA and TARP, TTARP. So let's hear from our Silver Generation.
At ALTA, we not only teach persons how to improve their reading, writing, and spelling skills. We teach them life skills. And presently, we have classes, as I said, throughout Trinidad and Tobago. And one of our first Zoom students was Miss Merle Basdeo, who is here with me. Now, the young persons in the class, they were not afraid of ALTA. It's persons who were senior ones. And being a senior myself, I also had some challenges. But luckily, ALTA was there to lead us, guide us, help us through. And eventually, it was cool. They had no problems. If they had a problem at all, it might have been with the camera. You know, sometimes you might have the camera and we explain how they will use it. And that's how we ended up a whole year of teaching ALTA and learning. And I should add that ALTA is celebrating its 30th anniversary this year. And we are now, as I say, on the Zoom platform. We have ALTA V persons who want to not even be in a class. We can also accommodate them.
My name is Merle Basdeo. I'm 59 years of age. When 2015, I got into an accident. Right hand broken 2 places, right foot broken 2 places. I was home doing nothing. A friend came by me and asked me to go to this class. So I decided to go. Then COVID came and we had to do class on Zoom. I know nothing about Zoom. First time learner. I had a small ordinary phone. But to get into work with Zoom, internet, I had also got a better phone. So I decided to buy the smartphone. My daughter, she showed me how to use it. It had things that we had to do, and I didn't watch, and I learned from there. I have Facebook, photo, WhatsApp, with my friends, with my co-workers. I even contact my teacher. WhatsApp. I said, oh, I am big now. I can use WhatsApp.
I am Yvonne Knights, Public Relations Officer of Central Pride, which is the central zone of the Trinidad and Tobago Association of Retired Persons. I use the internet a lot. I mainly use it to do a lot of research. Since the pandemic, I've been very much involved in plans as we are not going anywhere. And I've started doing a lot of research on plants, you know. But I find it very useful. I've joined a lot of farmers group. You think I'm a farmer, but I've joined a lot of farmers group. And through that, I've made a lot of friends. online friends. It is a wonderful thing to get involved. For the simple reason, particularly now, you hear a lot of people talking about being depressed and they don't know what to do. Go on social media and you get involved. You actually feel as if you're involved with your friends and your family. When you go and you mingle, we have funerals, we have weddings, we have baby showers, we have all kind of things. Now, some of us cannot travel. We could not travel because of, and some of us still are not traveling, but we are very much involved in all the activities.
My name is Janet Rollins. I am 78 years old. I am the Vice Chairman of the Central Zone of the Trinidad and Tobago Association of Retired Persons. I got into the online banking out of necessity. I had an accident and I was not mobile for quite a while. But I'm a person who loves my independence. So with the help of my granddaughter, I got on to online banking. And I am completely sold on it now because it enabled me to pay my bills, to transfer funds, to check my balances without moving from my home. The initial fear has dissipated, and once I follow that and the instructions, which are not very many in terms of my particular bank, I find I get through very well. In a matter of minutes, when month end comes, I can get rid of all my bills, in a matter of minutes without having to expend money to travel, to go to the bank, to wait in a long line or anything like that. And there's still a lot for me to learn, but I am comfortable when I see the advantages that abound. I think that is the way for us to go.
So there you have it. Dr. Rouse, this is where I want you to come in. We have just heard a little bit of that experience in engaging technology, but I want us to start off by delving a little bit into the fears, that initial hesitancy that some of our seniors may have faced whilst using and being forced to use in some cases this technology.
Welcome again. And we have to understand that our seniors they don't comprise a homogeneous group. So therefore, there is no one elixir that one size fits all. Just as you said in your opening statement, the technology, some of them feel as if it is thrust on them. They didn't have a say in it. They just have to react to it. And it could be a shock. Some see it as, and this is coming from seniors that speak to me, they find it disrespectful, And most of all, the word that is more commonly used, they find it intrusive, especially social media. But when you are hearing of where it is coming from, is from different cohorts of the seniors. And I will say this, every time I say these labels, people smile, Because although it is for persons aged 60 and over, the 60 to 74 are the young old. The 75 to 84 are the old. And the 85s and over are the oldest old. Now, those are just social constructs. It's not to really fit you into a box, but that is more for the policy planners and the program developers to know how they will meet this group and what they will share. But what is interesting is that you find that the seniors in the young cohort, that is the 60 to 74, sometimes say, well, why I have to be with these old people, the ones who now in the 85 and over, you follow? But what America has done, and some of the other developed countries, they have now seen a bridge where in helping to cope with this avalanche of technology, we have sometimes the young old helping to train the oldest old. You see what is happening there? Because they are the parents.
And I think that there's a value in that when it comes to embracing and confronting your own vulnerability.
Precisely, because it goes both ways, directional. Because once you hear learning and training, you immediately think of the young ones having to train the old ones and their attitude towards patience and granny, why you're taking so long to do this, because it comes natural to them. But they also have within the older cohort that these subtle divisions, but they can help each other because they can then identify with how they got through in the young-old category to let it be less onerous for the older soul and the old and you. Because, and I would tell you, it is my sister, my eldest sister, 4 years ago, when she was 84, she brought me onto WhatsApp because she lives in Nigeria. And when we call and when she calls on the landline, the calls drop. So she still calls me baby sister. She said, little sis, if we want to speak, you have to go on WhatsApp. And she was the one, not too much coercion. I denied her twice, but then the third time I said, let me try this. You see? And that's how it began. And then I've been on now for about 3 to 4 years. But I'll give you the joke with this. My instinct, because of the pattern behavior that we don't realize we hold on to longer than may be necessary, when I wanted to write down this, you heard what I say, write down. I said, but I know I have my post-it note somewhere here. So I went for a sticky, wrote it out, you know. And then I said, but where you go, how when you're going to speak, you're going to use this little sticky, not thinking of this at all. And then I said, wait a minute, in Parliament, I see them reading everything from on the phone. So this was an example. And I said, no. If you're going now to look a little profesh, you know how we say it, you can't go with a little sticky note and then have it hanging maybe behind the phone, you know? Yeah. And I typed it in, and that's why now and I'm saying this for the seniors listening, I know where to find where you could increase the font size. So you notice I'm not wearing my spectacles because I used the bigger print so that I didn't have to do this, but I could read from here and see what I wrote out and why I wrote it out here. So in terms of efficiency, in terms of effectiveness, confidence, that some of these things can't be just taught by lip service. You have to behave it, change the attitude towards it, and make it look easy. And those who have seen me know that what I'm saying here is just how Rouse will say it, because that's how I talk to myself. I say, Rouse, I mean, you know, where you going with this? With the little sticky, do something, and I was able to model it.
You have made a compelling case for adaptation.
Precisely.
And adopting the use of this technology.
Precisely.
What can we do and what can we use as family units to support our silver generation, to help them transition into that acceptance and use of the technology?
From a family standpoint, patience is required. Patience. They need patience. Also, too, you have some older ones who are resistant to being guided because they were based on their jobs that they had in controlling areas, as well as if their parents were controllers. They have always been a position of top-down. So when now, so you know, realize it has to be a bi-directional thing. So if even the younger person or the person who is trying to show you and bring you into it is trying to be patient, they have this resistance from sometimes the older person because that's the way they have been accustomed doing it. And sometimes it comes through even more forcibly for those who might be in early dementia. You follow? Because they hold on to certain like building blocks that they have been doing, exercising all of their life, and they don't know any other way. So much of it requires modeling it, like how you said I have just shown and done, but quite a number of it you can use the grandchildren, the little ones, who they're as free as, they have no attitude, they don't know about being judgmental, because this was done already to show there's a synergy between the preschoolers and the early ones, like all 5 to 7, their formative years. It has been shown where there's a synergy with them and the old. And then I told you how the young old who are grasping it can now be the ones to bridge that gap with these very old ones. What is a good way of doing it too? When you know what they like. If Granny likes cultural things, shows, you show her how on YouTube you could download any Calypsonian anytime. You don't have to be in Queensall, Napa, nowhere, right there. Instead of sleeping all day or feeling, well, there's nothing much to do. And moving now to another area, as we saw in some of the videos and heard, if they like gardening, if they like diet and what to do now post-COVID, because we realized that health was a major issue, and how do they boost that immune system? But what I'm saying without saying it is they have to have the desire. They have to have the desire to want to. And so I'll close by saying what we have to let the grannies or the more resistant ones know is that the aging process is involuntary. We have no control over that. We're born and we have to fade away. However, growing old, and I like the word growing, that aging is a process where you continue to grow. And that when we allow them to understand that, because I did it with my father. When I was studying, he was in his 90s, and I used to speak to him from abroad. And I say, Dad, because of some of the challenges he was getting, I said, no, you just have to be open. And that wasn't even technology, but just to change the mindset. That's the big part in dealing with between health, social, and psychology. The psychological part of aging is the biggest hurdle for them. When they're losing that independence and have now to rely now, being more housebound, these are the things you have to engage. Audiobooks, you get those kind of things to them. All this is part of the digital transitioning, and they listen to the things you know they like. But also, too, not always they can get visual because their eyes, some have cataracts, some dim eyesight. So, but at the same time, we don't want them too sedentary. So we have to look for exercises for them. And they have that also on
online.
YouTube.
Yeah.
So you have that where they could sit in a chair, look at what is happening and do it, and you stay with them, because the fear is natural.
Thank you so much for your contribution. We're going to change gears just a little bit. We have another video queued up for our viewing audience. This is accessing services online. Good. This is a video feature featuring NALIS and iGovTT. Let's take a look.
I am Cheryl-Ann Kwamina-Batiste.
And I am Bridget Winter.
We are here to share with you how we have been helping you to become more digitally literate. NALIS public libraries are builders of digitally inclusive communities. This means that we lead in ensuring that all members of our communities, including you, our seniors, across Trinidad and Tobago are e-ready. That is, able to access, use, and understand digital technologies and content without barriers.
Over the years, NALIS has been providing you, our seniors, who we refer to as our golden members or GMs, with a unique card that allows you special privileges which include free internet access, free computer literacy classes, free assistive technology for the blind and print disabled, 10 pages of photocopies per month, free. Some of the digital initiatives include the Bring Your Device and Come program, where you can learn how to use your devices, such as cell phones, tablets, and laptops.
Upcoming digital literacy initiatives include accessing online government documents and services, online banking, online shopping, financial literacy, installing and deleting apps, managing your phone storage space, intergenerational programs, virtual volunteerism,
gerontologist chats and coping skills, information literacy with seniors from other organizations, partnerships with stakeholders, large print books, audiobooks, providing library space for displays of crafts and hobbies, and for recreational activities. Cyber safety for Golden members. Our Golden members remember when. Services for the homebound.
So, remember to visit your nearest public library. We assess where you are at and take you to where you need to be. Whether it is to connect you with your family and friends, conduct your very important online business, or keep you informed. We provide a comfortable and information-rich environment with competent teams who are very ready to welcome and to serve you.
The National Information and Communication Technology Company Limited of Trinidad and Tobago, also known as ICTs, continues to support our senior citizens in a bid to enhance their lives through the use of digital technology. TT Connect, the customer-facing arm of ICTs, collaborated with the Ministry of Social Development and Family Services to facilitate the automation of the application processes for two of the ministry's most subscribed services. The Automated Senior Citizens Pension, better known as SCP, and the Direct Deposit, better known as DD, allow our qualifying citizens to email applications via a dedicated email address, which is scp.application@gov.tt, without leaving the comfort of their homes. The feedback we have received indicate that the process of accessing these services using their computers at home is simple, convenient, and time-saving.
To improve the quality of life for our citizens and government-wide services, ICTs released 2 solutions in the last 2 years that will be of particular interest to our senior citizens. So let's take a quick look at each, starting with GovPay TT. GovPay TT allows you to safely pay online for government services using your Visa or MasterCard. Our senior citizens can now leverage the following services without leaving the comfort of your homes. Utilizing GovPay TT, you can now order your computerized birth, death, or marriage certificates online. These are then delivered to you by TT Post. At the Land Registry, you can apply and pay online for certified copies of all registered land documents. Semi-retired citizens who have registered companies can access the Company Registry Payment Portal for post-incorporation filings, such as their annual returns. Let's look at the areas of advantage through e-appointment. To avoid the discomfort of standing in lines at government offices, we also provide the ability to apply for an appointment online using any device with internet access. These pre-booked appointments allow you to save time. The services that will be of interest to our senior citizens are pre-bookings with the TT Connect service centers across all of Trinidad and Tobago. You can access several services from the Civil Registry pertaining to the application, late registration, or correction to birth, death, marriage, and adoption certificates. At the Company Registry, you can arrange for the collection of certificates for recently registered businesses, incorporated companies, or request certified copies of companies' records. Senior citizens have been using e-appointments to assist their family members to apply for certificates to work in CARICOM countries. For a full listing of all appointments available, you can go to the website appointments.gov.tt.
So there we go, accessing services online. I would like to bring in our virtual guests into the discourse. I would like to start with Cheryl Ann. I understand that NALIS, like ALTA, they've been offering courses in computer literacy, bring your device and come, lovely tagline. What support do we have for our seniors in this environment that you're offering?
We connect people, in this case, our seniors, with information to empower them to be digitally literate.
Tell us a little bit about the atmosphere during these sessions. What is the feel that you all at NALIS are having assembled and created this environment for Silver Generation?
Our Silver Generation learn, and they want to learn more. And our teams, especially Miss Dr. Ross, talk about the young connecting with the older. We may not have young children, but we have young staff members who are very tech savvy, and they are excited to connect with the seniors. And incidentally, we call our seniors at NALIS Golden members because we created this plan for them years ago, where we gave them access to computer classes as well as free copies and so forth. The atmosphere is electric because the seniors are excited to come in. They are excited. So this is an example of a couple of seniors. We had 3 seniors in, and we had to limit the amount because of COVID protocol. So we have 3 seniors in, and one lady is calling. We are doing conference calls on that day. And she calls her son and her daughter via conference call. And she says, I am calling you from the library. They just showed me how the conference call. Mommy, where you? I'm at the library. You never taught me how to do this. I'm calling you, both you and your brother. So now I can call all my grandchildren and them. And she was excited. And we have couples, like husbands and wives, are coming in. They started with how to use a device, then how to use WhatsApp, how to go on Zoom. Then they are participating in our Zoom programs, and they are excited to learn more because they have gone past the fear factor. They are so excited about learning to become digitally literate.
Thank you so much for that. I want to turn the conversation back to you, Dr. Rouse. After having heard that contribution and that conquering of fear and embracing, as a result of the pandemic, where we have all been forced to be physically distant, do you think our seniors have held on to that opportunity to stay connected with their friends and their loved ones?
Yes, I think that has increased, especially through the WhatsApp. And the nice thing about the WhatsApp is that you know when your message is read and when you get your replies. Also, they have very interesting pictures of a good morning greeting, you know, and I'm saying this especially so for those seniors. I heard it from more than one senior. Those are from the oldest old group. One called me in earnest, and she said, you know, I'm feeling irrelevant. And I said, that's a poignant word. And it wasn't she alone. There were others who called, and without knowing what word that was the key word they all used. They were feeling irrelevant because remember, they are coming out of an ethos of classical learning, philosophical learning, where we had group discussion. And like my father, for instance, when he was alive, they had poetry groups, and where they would read. Because remember, they didn't have TV. So they exchanged classical works. They could still quote Shakespeare and all the poets. Good. So when you now fast forward that and leap across, because right now we have 5 generations alive at the same time, in case we didn't know. And that is what is causing some of the tensions in workplaces, because with contract work, which is not age-based but skills-based, you have some seniors who are over 70 at work, who have to call on some of the young ones, and they do, for the electronic part of what they're doing. But in terms of their acumen of expertise, you can't trade that because you need them. their mental acuity is still sharp. So with COVID now, you realize, even looking at cable network, how many comprise the experts who had to now give advice because of not just their know-how, but they are in the field so much, they have lived so long to see, they can now bridge both the science theory with a lived experience. Now, when the older ones at home are noticing that, they listen, and this is the point I'm coming to. Because some of my siblings are now what you call octogenarians in their 80s. And what had happened with them when COVID came, which was new to all of us, they were following MSN, CNN. I mean, you name the channel, they're looking. And then we had daily updates from the local end. And they were like glued to this TV, listening. But when nighttime came, they couldn't sleep. And I'm talking seriously, because it was disrupting their sleep. And rest is paramount, tantamount to an older person, especially those in the oldest group.
Absolutely. I want to bring our virtual guests back into the fray. Niala, I want to toss this her way. Let's talk a little bit about the online services, the government online systems. What support is given to our seniors in that regard? Niala?
Hello, Emil. It's really a pleasure listening to this conversation. It's quite vivacious and very inspiring. In terms of our support to our senior citizens, we have our TT Connect channel, which is headed by Mr. Edson Eastman. So if you don't mind, I'd actually like Edson to answer towards what support is given to seniors who are using our online services.
Certainly. So good morning, everyone, or good day, everyone. So with respect to the online services that citizens actually make use of, two of those very heavily used services are the senior citizen pension service and the direct deposit service. And what we have done is that we have automated those two services, and we now provide support for our senior citizens in two ways. One, we have a toll-free number, which is 800-8826, where persons can call in at no charge, and we have real-time CSRs who will provide the service for those senior citizens to provide information and support as they apply for these services, as well as to those who are very comfortable with the ICT part of it. We have online CSRs at www.ttconnect.gov.tt, where our TT Chat CSRs provide, again, real-time information to persons who avail themselves of the services that we currently have online. So whether you are comfortable making a telephone call, or whether you feel very comfortable, and we have seen even an increase in persons using TT Chat, we have those two avenues or channels available to senior citizens to provide support for them on an ongoing basis.
Thank you very much, Edson. I just want to push a little further. Could you tell us a bit about the application process in terms of pension checks?
So certainly. So what we did, we realized that in the height of COVID-19 in 2020, that citizens still needed to apply for their services. So what we did, we sat with the Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Social Development and Family Services, and we had a very long and productive meeting in which we gave the ministry a plan of automating these two services, the senior citizen pension and the direct deposit service, whereby the applicant can literally scan his or her documents and email these documents to a specific email address. And so we agreed that this would happen. And what we have seen is that the senior citizens have applied for their pension and can apply for their pension without leaving the comfort of their homes. And then furthermore, they can now apply for direct deposit without leaving, again, the comfort of their home. So they are both safe. It's a very safe process at their home, and it's very efficient. And we have seen that citizens, because of the automation of these processes, are now availing themselves to these services without having to leave their homes or come into the service centers or into the ministry's offices.
Thank you so much. I know Charlene is still with us. And Charlene, you spoke a bit about the conveniences and the programs offered inclusive of programs for persons with disabilities. I would like you to comment a bit on your membership, Charlene. What have you seen over the last years, the last couple months in terms of the growth of your membership?
In spite of the global challenges, our libraries have been growing. Now, this is in a unique position in the Caribbean, and we have been growing in several ways. One is through our expansions, that is co-locations. Co-locations put libraries in the heart of the communities, and we are able to reach the underserved, including the seniors and those who are differently abled. We have several libraries that we've opened over the last couple of years, and these include Barataria, Beetham, Mount Hope, and then we redesigned St. Helena Public Library. We also increase our membership through authorities, and that authority is one that's vested in us by the Marrakesh Treaty. The Marrakesh Treaty places NALIS as the authorized authority to convert print materials to audio and braille. This opens up a whole new plethora of resources to the differently able. We work along with the TTBWA as well as PAVI and other institutions to ensure that we can place more materials in the hands of the differently able, those who are blind or print disabled. So this leads to mass registration, and it increases our new target, or increases membership in this new target audience. Also, based on the fact that we already have strong relationships with the seniors, as the tide changed, as the situation changed and they needed to be more digitally literate, they have been coming on board, registering for classes, participating in our programs, and this has increased our membership also.
In terms of support, is NALIS doing anything to keep the group together, like a chat group, or is there a program to help them cope with this new digital environment?
Okay, definitely. NALIS has several programs that support coping. One of them is that we empower those who need it to be digital literate through our computer classes, our digital literacy classes, programs that encourage you to use your skills, like book clubs, online book clubs, as well as talk and chat sessions, information sessions. So we would have several very interesting sessions that will pull the intergenerational sessions that Dr. Ross may have spoken about, that will pull the younger generation and the older together, and would share information about remember when, or who's, or the icons of culture and so forth, things that they are interested in. We also have craft sessions that they love to do, and they would come on board with whether we send them the information or we sit with them on an individual level. We also have WhatsApp groups. We had to create WhatsApp groups for them because, of course, we taught them how to use it, and then it was an easy means of communication, and they were already beginning to get comfortable. So you would have the group from Sandy Granny saying, we have our own WhatsApp group, you know, and we communicate online, and we're not waiting for them, those young people. So those are the things that we provide. We provide coping skills through sessions with subject matter experts, such as Dr. Jenny Rouse. We ensure that we connect them with financial literacy, how to do online banking, how to use curbside pickup, how to get your groceries online. And we provide the backup support in terms of them being able to call and say, well, okay, you taught me this and I can't remember. Can you help me or walk me through it? So we provide that kind of support. The support has been really community level, where the young techie knowledge representatives provide them with that kind of support for them to continuously be able to be comfortable online, comfortable in the digital environment.
Thanks, Sherilyn. Niala, I want to bring you back in here. We were talking about some of the services provided by iGovTT. Tell us a little bit about the safety. I know that could also be a barrier or a potential barrier to participation by your seniors.
Right. Thank you. Thank you, Wendell. So essentially at iGovTT, we partner with several of our brothers and sister companies such as TTCCIT to ensure the safety of all of our online solutions. We also pay particular attention to how much of your personal data we actually store on it. So towards that, you would find we are always super sensitive, and safety is one of the central aspects with our online solutions. I dive in particularly with our gov-based system right now, which is where we get into the financial realm with respect to your online transactions. So currently we partner with local banks and First Atlantic Commerce. These platforms provide our valued customers with secure and leading internet payment solutions that have a global reach. First Atlantic Commerce International Payment Gateway provides secure payment processing solutions that align to international standards, such as the PCI DSS compliance that they align with. So towards that, your safety is always of prime importance to us. And we have other affiliates that ensure and keep us in check, and will periodically check to ensure that our systems are sound and secure and reliable for our citizens.
Could you tell us a little bit about your subscription? Have you seen an uptick in numbers?
Good question. So with respect to, we have two online solutions right now that actually we have subscribers or registered users. And e-appointment is one of those subscribed services. So e-appointment to date with our senior citizens in particular, we have over 10,000 users that are 60 years and over. And even more so, 5,000 of those users are 65 years and over. So that was quite thrilling. I mean, e-appointment has only been released just over 2 years now. I'm starting with its application by the Registrar General's office. Most surprisingly, our second application that has registered users is Employee TT, which is a solution that allows you to apply for contract employment with the government. And you will not believe, we actually have 50 users that are over the age of 60 years and over. So that was quite surprising, to be honest, pulling those numbers. But I'm not in the least bit surprised after hearing Dr. Rouse and understanding the work of NALIS. It seems as though everything is coming together nicely for our senior citizens and the uptake of these solutions in the comfort of their homes.
Thank you very much. Is there a website we can visit to book our appointments online? And I say we, I'm talking on behalf of our seniors.
Most definitely. It's very simple, appointments.gov.tt.
Excellent. We are perilously close to the end of this programming, but I'm going to allow each of our virtual guests to have a closing statement, just a one-liner from everybody. Niala, I already have you engaged, so give us a little encouragement to the seniors.
Okay, so, you know, I have elderly parents myself, 78 and 83 years old. And I totally subscribe to totally identify with what Dr. Rouse has emphasized so much, which is the comfort. It takes a little bit of patience to start getting yourself acclimatized to. But as soon as you do so, it's new portals opening, new doorways opening. My father-in-law, he spends most of his time farming, and he decided to get a new smartphone so that he's aware that all of these government services are coming online now. And it's so much easier for him to access. So don't be shy. Reach out to your loved ones, reach out to your family members, and get started. It's so simple, and it opens up so many doors for you and brings a light to your life.
Thank you so much, Niala Maharaj Rasha, Head of Consulting at IGovTT. Edson, you're up next, my friend.
Certainly, and just to follow up with what Dr. Jones has said and Niala, the fact is that anything that is new at the first time will be a bit daunting, but there's evidence that from Niala and from so many others that once you put your mind to it and you see the value of it, then the issues and the challenges that you face in anything new will bit by bit fall away. So my word of encouragement is take it very slow, take it one step at a time, look for a champion within your WhatsApp group or a champion within your neighborhood who understands the technology and lays with that person. And bit by bit, the issues will fall away. And once you see the value of it, you will then begin to adopt it and see a brand whole new world. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Edson Eastman, Head of TT Connect under IGovTT. Sherilyn, you're up next.
Thank you. As our seniors, you are very important to us. So important that we created the Golden Members. We called you Golden Members years ago. And now we have created a digital literacy for seniors just for you, to take you from where you are at to where you need to go. And our welcoming, very patient and very capable team members are here to take you there. We are here to help you to become digitally literate.
Thank you very much, Sherilyn Kwamina Batiste, Librarian and Digital and Information Literacy at NALIS. Thank you so much. Dr. Rouse, I am not just going to give you any closing words just like that, I'm going to take a little liberty. Help take us home, coping skills. Yes, we've heard the numbers. We have a lot of seniors who are embracing and engaging the technology, but we still have some legwork to do to encourage so many more.
Definitely. Some we have to understand a challenge with health issues. And again, for family members or caregivers that are in close proximity to them, if they have no visible challenges, they can show them on YouTube some of the things pertinent and relevant to whatever might be their affliction, and how they could make it easier to cope with. Also, seniors, those who are in it already and still feel a bit challenged, have to learn how to laugh at themselves, and understand that when I started on a computer, I was in my 40s, and it took me a month to steady the mouse, to click the cursor. I said, so take it easy. And that time was young people that were showing me. And I look back now, and I still type with 1 or 2 fingers. Even though I was a piano player and used all 5, I am still typing with 1 or 2. But I'm getting there. And my attitude to it is one of excitement. I really always like to learn. Understand this growth process is a process. You're not alone. You're not the only one engaging in this. The ones who, you have to be patient and tolerant with the one who is trying to show you. And while they are engaging, they could chat. Because whether it's the young, it will most time be the younger ones engaging. You have so much to talk about and relate it to. and ask if it is that, and that might pique the interest of the one who is showing to say they never heard about that. And then you engage and begin bonding. And so that question of being separate and alone is shortened, is narrowed, the gap comes down a bit. And I'm telling my seniors as myself, remain open. That is critical. Remain open. And when we just say open, I mean to infinite possibilities. Don't just say this is what, because I know of some of them who have closed themselves, you know. They have locked down and said, I am not learning that. That is a little too much for me. I only need this. And they don't know what they don't know. So they don't know how much that they are cutting themselves off. I listen at night when maybe there's nothing of interest for me on the TV. I may tune, because I like jazz and these things. I tune into Lincoln Center in the States. I listen to A.T.N. Charles, who we know. And I no longer call it the bedroom because it's converted. And this is another thing I am telling seniors too to do. Some of them have a spare room that all they're doing is cleaning it, and then they close it, and there's nothing. You could have your space right there. And when you have Kes on the band performing, guess where I am? Complete with my little flag and my rag, but I'm not saying I'm in my bedroom, but I'm dancing, and I'm not socially and physically distant from it. I'm in a safe space. In other words, you can't reach the mountain, bring the mountain to you. And remain in that open field of engagement. You have to understand too, and I want our seniors to understand, because this is how the United Nations is looking at it. They are bringing together persons with disability and the elderly, because they are recognizing that the amenities that are needed for persons with disability are very close to the assistive devices used for older persons. Because we have to understand that older persons will become infirm. You may not be bedridden, but you will become infirm. You will slow down. You will need many little gadgets. And so be open to understand that, because my brother who deceased 2 years ago begged me to do this. He said, Jen, you have to tell people what to expect with this agent, because it hit me like a thunderbolt, you know. Final words to you, do it with joy, do it as adventure. Be happy when you make a mistake. Is you alone make the mistake and you know how to fix it, so it may not recur. And take a day at a time.
Thank you very much, Dr. Jennifer Rouse, gerontologist. This is where we bring the curtains on the 2022 commemoration of World Telecommunication and Information Society Day. This program, courtesy the Telecommunications Authority of Trinidad and Tobago. The theme of 2022, Digital Technologies for Older Persons and Healthy Aging. A special thank you to all our virtual guests. Thank you so much, Charlene Yala Edson. Thank you so much to CNC3 for facilitating this fantastic programming. Visit the TAT website, ton load of information and support there as well. Also visit the websites of our guests as well. My name is Wendell Etienne. Thank you very much. Good day.